Welcome friends, it's Ray. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I'm playing with different mediums. I am mixing lots of colors and adding lots of texture. Stay tuned for this wonderful 4-for-1 technique. Okay, I am going to score my 9x12 paper in half. So 6, turn it around to 4.5. Okay. And the reason I wanted to do that is just really to define my 4 areas. Okay, I am going to actually get 4 cards out of this. I'm just going to bring in a little piece of cellophane. It's some wrapping left over from a stamp set. I cut it down to a smaller piece. And I am going to just spray on that. 2 sprays, twice. And then I'm going to add a little water to it. And then starting in the center, I am going to just go ahead and tap that on my paper, bringing it up from the center on all 4 quadrants. And there's nothing wrong with spraying it directly on your project. I just right now want more control. Okay, and so ordinarily I would stop and dry these colors, you know, in between, but I am using colors in rainbow order here. And so I know they play well together. They're not going to mix together and make mud, at least not this red and orange or pinkish. The Cocktail Party is more pink than red. Love it. And then this is Jack-o'-lantern, and it is more orange. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my yellow. And for yellow, I have Harvest Moon, and I like this technique because, you know, it's going to give me more control over where that ink goes. Now I'm going to bring in a little green. It's a Wicked Elixir. I'm speeding up the video here through the rest of the color process here. Through the rest of the color application process. And so I want to make sure I'm getting all of the colors in each of the 4 quadrants. This is looking good, and if you have blobs, you can either wipe those up with paper towel or, in my case, remove them or tap on them to give them so that you can move part of that. I think I want a little more pink in there, only because I will be cutting these into 4, and I don't have as much pink in that quadrant. Now I can also, okay, and see, it's very forgiving. So even though that pink kind of got away from me and moved, you know, I was able to recapture most of that with my cellophane paper and move it. I love this. Sometimes they look like a hot mess until you actually finish your piece. So right now it does look a little hot. But what we're gonna do, stick with me, what we're gonna do is dry it and then add some more mediums to it. I'm using this new scrapbook.com silicone mat. and I am loving it. It is extra large. Just got it in with another order. It was a free item, and I am loving it. It's easy cleanup. Yes, the lights, just like with my Tim Holtz glass mat, the light reflecting on the black is a little different. But let's bring our piece back in now that this is dry. I'm gonna bring in a stencil. This is Zebra. This is Zebra print by Opaque. I'm gonna place that in the center and, or you know, thereabouts. And let's see, I think I'll tape it down in this corner, because if some of my tape lifts up, I'm going to be cutting most of that area off anyway. So I could have used my Pixie spray, but I just didn't think I needed it. Okay, so now I'm going to come in with my Tarnished Brass Distress Spray Stain, and I am going to do the same. Spray it on my cellophane, add water, and then flip that over and press that through my stencil on each of the 4 quadrants. Maybe I shouldn't have added water. Let me take a look here. I am testing. That didn't do much. Let me try a little bit more without water. Doesn't look like it did much. Okay, that did better. Okay, so I think I'm gonna add a little bit more over here. Spray a little more and add it to these 2 quadrants. Okay, and I'm just going for a little texture, little interest. Remove that. And we have a little wavy texture there towards the bottom. I could have used a little bit more up here, but that's okay. Before I go to the next technique, I am going to just make sure this panel is dry. Okay, so I am going to spray some Dina gloss acrylic spray in white on my little palette here. Okay, and then I am going to add a little water. Maybe a little more. Okay, and bring in my fan brush and just tap that. Okay, I'm gonna go overkill on the splatter, and I think next time I will use my splat box, which I almost always do. And this time I thought I would go rogue, and now I've got more cleanup to do. But I love that splatter. And it only took 1 spray of that and some water. Okay, so let's bring a little heat in to finish drying this. Okay, I am just using some card stock and this Paper Rose Wildflowers stamp set from my stash, and am going to stamp some of these lovely sentiments for my 4 cards. For the sake of time, I did stamp those off camera. I will go ahead and cut my panels, or cut my 1 piece into my 4 panels. I'm bringing in a stencil by Tim Holtz. It's a Wildflower stencil, and I'm going to tape that on the back with some low-tack tape, and bring in my black Opaque texture paste, and apply that to my panel. And I did get a little on the right hand side, which I did not mask off, and I'm going to trim it down, so I think that should be fine. This stuff dries very fast, but as soon as I'm done, I will go ahead and put this in some warm soapy water, so that when I'm ready to clean that up, both the palette and the stencil, it'll be easy. I did add my press and seal to cover that so that it does not dry out as fast. And I applied that paste to 2 of my panels. I'm going to do something different for the other 2. So here I'm bringing in my Tim Holtz embossing folder. This one's called Cracked. Spritzing the back of my panel with just some water, and then I'm going to place that into the embossing folder and run this through my die cut machine. Next, I bring in leaves that I've die cut and stacked. These are from Paper Rose. So I'm going to use tacky. I've already affixed 2 of these together, or 3 of these together actually, and let that dry and set. And now I'm going to just glue these onto the center of my panel and place my acrylic block over top, so that affixes. There's a lot of texture there, so this craft tacky glue will definitely hold, be a better in terms of holding everything on. So here I'm going to take my I released the release paper from the foam tape on the back of my panel, adding craft tacky glue just so that I have more room to get this affixed to my mat. And I can position, and once I'm done, then I can remove the release paper. Next, I place my sentiments on my card. I've already stamped and cut these out off camera and added a little foam tape to the back to pop them up. I trim my panels down to 4 by 6. Once my first 2 panels with the black texture paste are dry, I am bringing in just some scripty font, stamp font here to apply a little bit of the script for a little more interest. I also trimmed these panels down to 4 by 6. I partially removed the release paper from my double-sided tape, position on my mat just like I did with my foam tape, and then once I get it positioned, remove the remaining release paper. I do the same for my twin panel off camera. Go ahead and fix all of my panels, matted panels, to card bases, and I end up with 4 lovely cards. Off camera, I added some Nuvo crystal drops in Ebony Black just to add even more texture. And that finishes off these cards. Love the fact that I could get 4 from 1 panel. Now let's take a closer look at all 4 cards I made in today's video. I hope you liked the video and will consider subscribing if you're not already a subscriber, and give me a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, good day, friends.